Welcome to the Relationship Rehab Podcast. I'm Sammy, a certified breakup and relationship coach, attachment specialist, former love addict, and spiritual junkie. This podcast is for you, the hopeless romantic who loves to love, and a safe space for us to explore and heal our attachment trauma, broken hearts, and love addictions. Together, we are on a mission to become the love of our own lives so we can have successful, healthy, secure relationships with others. So if you're ready to create a life and love beyond your wildest desires, you're in the right place. Your journey towards becoming more secure in love and life starts now. Hello, love. Welcome back to the Relationship Rehab Podcast. And I am recording this episode straight off the cuff. This is quite a spontaneous decision for me to record this as I've just come off of a client call. And we were talking a lot about the anxiety that comes up when we don't receive that text message back from the person that we're dating, that we're in a new relationship with. And I really felt called to create this episode, which is going to be more of a pep talk. It's going to be more of a reminder and support to help you self-soothe and reassure and validate that anxious little inner child that is freaking out right now, rather than information and knowledge and heavy stuff about what's going on underneath. So you can save this one and come back to it anytime that you need to hear the things that I'm going to say to you today about the truth and the reality of the matter when you don't receive that text message back. So, of course, I don't know the ins and outs of your specific unique situation, whether you're freaking out because you haven't heard from him all day, or that you haven't received that good morning text, or maybe it's been a couple of days. But what I do know is that your inner child is feeling very anxious, is feeling very fearful. You're feeling sensations in the body. Maybe you're feeling a bit sick, overwhelmed, preoccupied. You can't concentrate, you can't eat. Maybe you're having difficulty sleeping if you're listening to this quite late at night, and you don't know what's happening, and you're really fighting the urge to reach out to them, to see what's going on, to see if they can respond. And sometimes it might feel that you are the one initiating a lot of the contact sometimes. What I also know to be true is that in this moment, you have forgotten how freaking amazing you are. You have forgotten how much of a catch you are and how lucky this person is for having you in their life. What I also know about you is that you're too afraid to come across as being needy or childlike or clingy in any way. So maybe there are episodes where you are playing it cool, you're trying not to let it bother you so much, but inside everything is just erupting and going mad in your mind. You're overthinking. There might be some stories happening in your mind of them maybe not liking you anymore, going off you, finding someone else. And the stories that come from that is maybe they don't care about me anymore, they can't like me so much. And we're really fighting the desperate urge to prove ourselves, to please them, to just get some type of contact from them. Because what we do know about the anxiously attached system is we feel safe when we have connection, when we are in close proximity with this person. So when we do receive that text message or phone call from them, it feels so good. We feel calm, we feel safe, we feel connected. But then the cycle starts all over again. And now we're feeling anxious and preoccupied, waiting for the next text to come through and the next time that we have this call. And this is such an exhausting place to be. I have been there many times. I have clients going through it right now. And in this moment, your nervous system is in that sympathetic response. You're in a fight mode, you're in a flight mode, you want to maybe freeze if it all feels too much, or even fawn, meaning please and chase and just get that connection, because as we know, it is tied to feeling safe. But we can create that for ourselves. We don't need to be running to this person for that. And I get it. I get it. If you are someone who has been dating for a while and you found this person and it feels like such a rare connection and you don't want it to go away, you don't want it to not work out, you really do want it to work out and you want to do everything you can to make it work. And if you are a high achieving woman or a man and you are used to chasing your dreams, getting what you want, you're a go-getter, you're ambitious, you know that if you put the work in, you'll get whatever your goal is. And when it comes to love, it is a different approach. It does require us to surrender, to detach a little bit from the outcome. It requires us to soften, especially as women. It requires us to relax and really trust that the connection will unfold as it will, as it's meant to, and to not get too ahead of ourselves, because when we have found something so exciting, so wonderful, that's aligning in every way, that is compatible, it can be difficult to trust this. It can be difficult to not try to control it in the way that we want it to go, in order to, again, coming back to that feeling of safety. When we control, we're trying to feel safe. So before I go any further, let's just take a few breaths together and try to self-soothe, try to soothe that nervous system, soothe that anxiety. And I want you to check in with your body and to see where you are feeling those anxious emotions in your body. Is it in your chest? Is it a tightening sensation? Is it in your belly? Are you feeling sick? Is it feeling tight and nauseous in this space? Is it in your shoulders? Are you hunched? Is it in your jaw? Is it clenched? Just notice where the anxiety is in your body and just place your hands on that space for me for a moment as we breathe in and exhale. Breathe in and exhale. Just doing a few more rounds of breathing with yourself, connecting to the anxiety, to the body. I know it's uncomfortable. I know you want it to go away. You know you don't want it to be here. I know that you're working so hard on becoming this securely attached person, and that person is still there. Don't feel like she's gone away anywhere. But your anxious child is overwhelming your experience right now. And how can we create a little bit of space for that emotion to be present? How can we reassure ourselves that it's okay for this emotion to be present, whether it's anxiety, fear, overwhelm, sadness, despair? We're not going to dwell on it, but see if you can just connect to it a few moments to see if it has any message for you, because that's what emotions are at the end of the day. They are energy in motion. And when we create some space, when we just connect and we breathe, we can allow the emotion to move through. And I know that it feels like it will stay, but I promise you, expand the capacity to hold it, create that space. I promise you it will move through. And if it doesn't, just continue with your breath. Just notice any shifts that is happening in your body at the moment. Notice if you can feel any calm coming in, and as you can feel that calm coming in, that peace, just see if you can shift your focus to concentrate on that calm. See if you can invite that calm to expand, that calm to reassure the anxiety that first of all, it's okay. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to feel fearful. We're in something that might be feeling very new to our system right now. We might be in something that feels quite triggering to our system right now. But the first thing to do is to create space to soothe the emotions. You deserve to create the space for yourself. You deserve to give yourself time. You deserve to give yourself this energy that you have so freely given to others. Now is the time for you to give this to yourself. If you are noticing a lot of activation in your body, like you want to move, that sitting still is not good for you, great. Listen to that. Get up. Shake your body. See if you can stretch out those feelings of tension in the body. Go for a walk and listen to this as you're walking. And pay attention to your environment. Do all of these somatic practices to bring you back to the present. I promise you, if you allow yourself this time to bring yourself back to a calm and grounded space, we are then able to deal with the stories and the narratives and the fear that is coming through. When we try to deal with the stories and the narratives that we are circulating in our mind and overthinking, then we are just going to continue to perpetuate this cycle because it's coming from this anxious state. So spend some time, even if you need to pause this episode and get out for that walk and just check in with your body, look around, connect with nature, connect with your environment, play some soothing music, do all the tools that you already have, because I'm sure you have tools. If you don't, then reach out and we can get your toolbox filled up. But put those somatic practices in place for yourself first and foremost, because you are worthy of this space. So now you're feeling a little bit more settled, and you don't need to be completely settled, completely calm, but just a little bit. Just noticing a little bit of shift in your nervous system. I can talk to that anxious little child that is freaking out. Now, without going too much in depth about why all of this is happening, because I've got a lot of podcast episodes and freebies and resources all about why the anxious attachment is there in the first place. But building up some awareness of why, and it could be, again, because we feel like this connection is so sacred, that it's so special, that it's so rare. And when we are in these types of thoughts and stories, we typically tend to put this person on a pedestal. And when we put this person on a pedestal, there is then now an imbalance of value between ourselves and them. But I'm here to remind you that you are a high value person. You have so much to offer that you don't want to be giving it all to them all at once. Remember to give to yourself first and foremost, and they need to be able to earn their place in your life in order to receive all the love and affection and attention that you are so willing to give. Be careful not to overload the relationship with all this amazing stuff that you have to offer. Now, let's see if we can pluck out those stories and poke some holes in them and make them disappear. Because if they are not true, if we don't have any conscious evidence that this is actually the case, then we know that it is a story and a narrative that has come from our past experiences. Sometimes we have opportunities and experiences, people, situations that come back into our lives that almost remind us of something that has happened in our past. So when we are aware that something is coming up for us that doesn't really make sense, it doesn't really connect to what is happening in the present, because maybe they are in contact with us. They are showing us that they are interested, that they are putting plans in place to see us, to go on dates with us, to connect with us. But there's still this lingering anxiety. We can assure ourselves that, okay, so if I can tell myself that actually there is nothing, there is no solid evidence in the present moment that this person is actually not interested, that is actually going off me, that they don't like me anymore. They're still showing up in some way, shape, or form, maybe not in the way that I want them to. And we're going to get onto expectations in a moment. Maybe they're not showing up in the way that I want them to, or doing things specifically, or meeting my expectations, but they still are in some capacity. Then we know that we are playing a record from our past, and maybe this is an invitation for us to start to explore what is happening there. So now that we have reassured our anxious inner child who's freaking out, who's playing a record from a past experience, is trying to protect you from not feeling Any pain that we may have felt from our past, this might be closing off our heart or having a fear of vulnerability, because if we're vulnerable, then we might come across as too needy, that we might be putting ourselves at risk of abandonment once more. The abandonment wound is coming back open, and we want to make sure that we do not put ourselves in that space. But the reality being is that we do need to take risks. We do need to present some vulnerability and softness when we are looking to build a healthy relationship with someone. If we're going to continue to close ourselves off because we are afraid, then deep connection will not be formed. The relationship will continue to just be this surface level, based off of chemistry type of relationship. So just a side note there, if you are being called to be a little bit vulnerable in communicating what you need and communicating how you're feeling, then lean into that slowly, gently. Don't overwhelm your system too much too soon. So we're reassuring that anxious inner child. I want you to step into now your adult secure self. See if you can connect to her or him as he's showing up securely. Because I'm here to remind you that that secure core self of yours is still there, even amongst the anxiety and the fear. You have not lost that part of yourself. That person, that part of you is still there. Connect to it. Connect to it now. How would she show up in this situation? How would he show up? And I want you to do something, whether you pause this episode or you do it afterwards once you've listened. I want you to do something that reminds you of your power, because you are so freaking powerful. You are a catch. You are amazing. You have so much going for you in your life. Remind yourself of all the things that you have been through to build up resilience, to build up strength, to build up confidence. You haven't lost that. So go ahead, go put something on, wear something that makes you feel like your secure self. Go and do something that makes you feel so good. Get that dopamine rush going. Get out there moving your body. Do something that you know is going to give you a little bit of a dopamine boost, a little bit of a boost. Just to remind you, we're not getting ahead of ourselves here with the ego. I don't believe in that, in this inflated ego, but we're not inflating it. We're just reminding ourselves of our power, of our confidence. Now we can assess what's going on. So now that you've calmed the nervous system, now that you've reminded yourself how freaking amazing you are, now we can assess, okay, is this a situation where I am falling into my anxious patterns and I am seeing this close proximity and connection as a way to validate and reassure myself? Because we can give that to ourselves, and I'm about to help you do that. So just because you haven't heard from them all day does not mean they no longer care about you. Does not mean that they've gone off you. We don't have any evidence to confirm that. They might be going through the same thing as you. Especially if we are now in a connection with a more securely attached person, they might, and it's new, they might have things going on in their lives. They may have appointments, and it's not that they're necessarily not thinking of you because they're not texting you. They might be freaking out as well. They might be trying to play it cool. Have we thought about that? Have we humanized this other person on the other end? That they may be having their fears? That they may be not knowing what to do for the best and not wanting to rock the boat because they've met this amazing person, aka you? Because let's be real with ourselves. And I'm sure we've all had these experiences, when we have been in a connection or when we've dated someone that is a little bit more on the anxious side, especially an anxious man, and they're bombarding us with messages and wanting to talk to us all the time, wanting to see us all the time. Are we getting the ick a little bit? Are we a bit like, oh, this is too much? Like, this is just, like, it's just all the time? Now, this is not to shame or blame our anxious parts, but just for us to be aware that maybe this man, and I'm speaking to the ladies now, this man on the other end who might be feeling excited about you, who might be feeling like they want to just go all in with you, knows that they have had their experiences where they have in the past with women and that woman has been turned off. So, just a bit of a reality check here. We don't know what's going on with this other person unless they have, of course, communicated that to you. We don't know what their experience is like. We can start to assume, oh, they don't care about us, they're avoidant because they're not texting us good morning, good night, touching in with us throughout the day. So we can have all these assumptions because we have our expectations, but the truth of the reality is, unless it's being told to us and communicated, we do not know what's going on with this other person. And maybe that is a beautiful invitation for you both to come together and be like, look, let's talk about our experiences with each other right now. What's going on for you? Now, maybe you are in a connection where you are desiring a little bit more communication, and that's amazing. That's great. And that's something that you would desire. See if you can shift from the word need. If the word need feels a little bit triggering, see if you can use the word desire if that makes you feel more empowered. You might be enjoying this connection so much that you want a little bit more communication. Now, I'm not here to encourage you to demand that this person is in contact with you all the time because that's not realistic. We all have our lives, yourself included, right? I don't want you to now fall into something that is going to completely engulf your life where you're no longer focused on work or friends or family and making yourself so overly available for this person. We need to be sustaining our sense of self alongside dating this person. And that goes for them as well. They also need to sustain their sense of self, their independence, because they're single still, if you're in a dating capacity, especially a very new one. Even if you're in a relationship, it's important to sustain a sense of self and not be completely enmeshed into each other's lives. That being said, it would be nice to increase the communication a little bit. I want you to own that. Everything that we own, we feel empowered in doing so. I'm seeing this in my life right now. As if you're listening to this in real time, I am in Nepal. My partner is in Thailand. We are currently doing long distance, and I'm requiring a little bit more connection with him, seeing as we're not together. Right now, I have two choices here. I could either be anxious and fearful and be like, no, I need to play it cool. I need to just accept what I'm being given. Because if it was up to him, and he is pretty much a secure man, he would only contact me once a day. And for him, that feels good. That feels like enough connection for him, and where he still feels very connected to me just having this one phone call. Now, I'm not here to say that I don't feel connected with him if we just have the one phone call, because I do feel very safe in our connection. But I would like a little bit more. Now, it's not a survival need, it's a bonus. Noticing the difference between needing it in order to feel okay. If this is something that you're noticing in your system, then I would encourage you to see what type of wounds are being activated right now. If I received more communication from you, that would be a bonus. That would be something that I would really love to receive, but it's not something that is going to catapult me into a survival state. So, the difference between being in a fearful state and not owning your desires could be that you're not even expressing them in the first place, and you're just having all this internal chaos and suffering and just getting through it and trying to distract yourself as much as possible. But this is such a unpleasant place to be in, and I don't want you to be in that place. Or we are going into a fearful state, and now we're projecting our anxiety and our fear onto them, and almost shaming or making them feel bad that they're not showing up for us in the way that we may feel like we deserve, quote unquote, or that is aligned with our expectations. A lot of us do have high expectations, and there's a difference between expectations and standards, but just see and notice, what are your expectations in this connection? Are they realistic? Be honest and gentle with yourself here. as well, and start to see this person as another human on the other end that is not here to meet all of those expectations. And especially if you're still in a very new dating situation, they don't owe you anything. You need to owe you that empowerment and own your desires. So, how we can do this in an empowered state is moving away from vocabulary such as you need to, I want, I need. Now, these can all give the energy of neediness. I need you to contact me more because when you contact me more, I feel better. Now, this makes us feel like this is our inner child talking, right? We don't want to be talking from the space of our inner child. We want to talk to this person from our secure, adult, empowered self. Using vocabulary like, I love it. I love it when you send me that good morning text. It really makes me smile. Now, if we are in connection with secure men or women, and we are telling them that something makes us smile, something makes us feel good, and they are genuinely wanting to sustain the connection with us and be, pursuing us, they are going to want to do it more. I promise you. They are going to want to make you smile. They're going to want to make you feel good because it makes them feel good. If they are choosing to be in this connection with you and to grow this connection with you. So we can use vocabulary like this. I just love good morning texts. They really make me smile. I'd love to receive more of them. See how that feels. That feels soft. That feels light. That feels empowered. Like you're owning that desire. Love to receive more. Maybe it's a good night text or good night call. And you could say it in like, when we talk at night, it makes me feel so connected to you. I'd love it if we can do that more. Do you feel like we can do that? Notice that I use the word we. We are in a connection together. This is not you and I. This is we. And in order for something to feel good for both people, we need to express our desires. We need to check in to see if this person also desires the same thing without trying to force them to meet our expectations or be on our level. Now, if it starts to feel forced, if it starts to feel one-sided, we need to take a step back and assess and evaluate if this connection is serving us. If we are being our most highest, challenged, empowered self in this connection, with putting all those things in place, because we can put all those things in place, right? I'm speaking to the people now that may not be in the healthiest of dynamics. We could put all the self-soothing stuff in place. We could put all the vocabulary and the scripts and all the shebangs in place. But if this person is not showing up, is more on the avoidance spectrum, is not that interested, and maybe they're just keeping you on a hook just in case they don't find anything better, or just in case they have a need that needs to be scratched now and again. If you feel like you're being kept in a waiting room, that you kept dangling on a string and they're throwing breadcrumbs at you, again, pull back a little bit and assess and evaluate if this is really serving you. Because like I said, you can put all the things in place and it will not make a difference. We cannot force someone to be interested in us. And again, it's such a difficult, tough place to be if we are in this dynamic. And I want you to know right now that this means nothing about you. Absolutely nothing about you and your character and your personality and your value. Just maybe we're in connection with the person that's not right for us. And that's okay. It's okay. We're not going to be right for everybody. It might have felt right a month ago when we first met, when we first connected, and now we've got to know each other a little bit more. And for some reason, it's not aligning. For some reason, maybe one person in this connection has found that maybe we're not actually that compatible. And unfortunately, and it really is unfortunate, a lot of people in this world do not have the emotional capacity to communicate that. And sometimes we've recognized in our past that we haven't been able to communicate that this person is not quite in alignment because maybe there's nothing quote unquote wrong with them or wrong with the connection. So we feel bad, we feel guilty. So therefore, we just don't say anything. That's freaking tough and shitty. And I want us all, the person on the other end included, to just toughen up a little bit and build some maturity and just communicate how we're feeling. And this is what I do this work for. I believe that if we have a world where we're all communicating from an honest, secure space, there will be a lot less pain. But just have some understanding and discernment and honesty with yourself. Are we dealing with someone who is pulling away, who is feeding me breadcrumbs, who doesn't have the emotional capacity to communicate what's going on with them? Do I want to be in connection with someone like that? Can I see myself building a long-term relationship with someone like that? Bringing you back to your power right now. You have choice. And I promise you, there is choice out there as well. If you are in a lack mentality and you're telling me, listening to this, yeah, but I don't think I'll find anything as good as that. Yeah, but I don't think I'll find someone like that again. You will. You will. You have to let go of the people that are not showing up for you, are not giving you what you quote unquote deserve. And again, it takes time to build up to really know and feel into what you truly deserve. And I promise you, keep doing the work. I know it can be really tough. And I know that it can feel like it's never ending. And in some ways, it isn't. It's just a lot of growth and a lot of expansion. And maybe you just are in a chapter in your life right now where you are being called to expand and to grow and be challenged and to learn some lessons. You are being challenged by God, the universe. And how can we show up for ourselves in these spaces? How can we continue putting in the effort even when we want to quit? Even when we want to throw in the towel and be like, you know what, screw this. I feel like I'm back in square one. I promise you, you're not. You're never going backwards. And if you are, if you feel like you're going backwards, it's only to propel you forward. It's only to learn maybe a lesson that we still need to learn. It's only to heal a wound from our childhood that still needs our attention. But you're still moving forward. You're always moving forward. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep putting in the work. Keep learning your secure skills and your self-soothing emotional regulation. And see if you can just open yourself up a little bit more in this dating relationship connection situation, knowing that no matter what the outcome is, you do not have full control over that because there's someone else involved. But no matter what the outcome, you know, if you can say to yourself with your hand on your heart that you showed up in the best way possible, that you showed up as your with your best foot forward, and you showed up with emotional maturity, with willingness, with openness, with love, with care, and you know that to be true in yourself, then you are expanding on new levels. And I promise you, you will be rewarded. If it's not this person, it's something better. If it's not meant to be, then that person that is meant to be is going to come. How can we really drop into knowing that to be true for ourselves? Because the more that we know that to be true, the easier it will come into our lives. So I really hope that this episode has empowered you, that has brought you back to that intrinsic, secure power and fire within, that confidence, because she is there, he is there. Tap into that. Lead from that. Lead from your heart and not from fear. And always remember that you have choice. You have discernment. You have autonomy over your own life, of what you accept, of what you don't. Being able, you have so much space and capability to express your desires. You deserve to. You are worthy of receiving them. And if you are in connection with someone who is not on your level, is not able to meet you where you're at, knowing that we have our expectations under control, then we also need to, make that decision, have that discernment if this is the right person for us. But let's see if we can just relax and just keep holding onto our breath, coming back to our breath, coming back to ourselves, relaxing our grip, relaxing control, leaning into surrender, even though we know it's uncomfortable. But first and foremost, we are our priority. And I want you to tell yourself that right now, hand on heart. First and foremost, I am my priority. My peace is my priority. My life is my priority. And I can open my heart knowing this to be true, that I have my own back. And no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. I am safe. I am safe to be in this connection with this person. I am safe to let go. I am safe to express my desires. I am safe to be vulnerable. I am safe. And the more you build up that internal safety within, the more you will feel safe in external connections. Whew, that was a powerful one, my loves. Save this and come back to it anytime that you need. A little pep talk from me, your coach, your attachment trauma specialist. I'm here for you in any way and capacity, shape and form. As always, DM me and let me know if this episode has served you. If you do need any further support, I am here for you. Just reach out. And reach out to anyone around you that feels safe as well. You don't have to go through this alone. Don't invite all your friends, because too many decisions and opinions and perspectives can be overwhelming. But maybe choose a select few friends to be on this journey with you. Or select myself or someone else as your coach to be on this journey with you. You don't have to go it alone, and you're not alone. There's so many of us that are going through this every single day. And you only need to be in the Facebook community or on my Instagram to see this, that everybody is having these anxious attachment struggles, so you're not alone. All right, my loves, I will leave it there. I'm sending you so much love. Stay true to yourself. Stay connected to your power. I love you lots, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me on the Relationship Rehab podcast. I hope that this episode has supported you in healing, growing, and evolving out of insecure attachment and unhealthy relationship patterns and into safe, authentic love with yourself and others. If you enjoyed the episode, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would just take a second to rate and review this podcast. Every rating and review from you guys counts, as it really helps this podcast to grow so it can reach more people who need to hear this content. And don't forget to connect with me on social media. Take a screenshot of this podcast episode, share it on your IG stories, and tag me at the.relationship.rehab with your biggest takeaway from the episode. I really do love reading them. See you back here next week for another episode on the Relationship Rehab podcast.